Hi, Scott Webb here. I advise the DPP and ITED students at MIS. For this career management course module, we're focusing on your resume. I'll break this module down into three parts: resume formatting, education, and experience. As many of you know, I've been a recruiter 3 times in my career. I've seen literally thousands of CVs from all over the world for a variety of positions and functions. This resume workshop will be broken up into 3 sections. Take a break after each section to make the necessary changes to your resume. We're going from the top down, starting with the format. So with that in mind, let's go to the sections. This model is what most any resume of any GSIPM student at MIS could look like. You can tweak small things like the font, whether to put education above experience and how to display your core brand and the key skills at the top. But when I'm given a resume to work on, they almost all end up looking like this. First, you have the contact information and a key skills section. Then most of you will list education above the experience section. For most of you, you're at MIS because you're trying to make yourself more qualified for jobs that you otherwise haven't qualified for. So it makes sense to put the most marketable and recent work first. If you have more than 5 years of professional experience, then I would recommend putting experience first. Finally, at the end, you have other sections at the end of your resume. These depend entirely on your skills, achievements, and other background information relevant to the jobs you're applying to. So the purpose of a resume is to get invited for an interview. Think like the employer. Know where they're coming from. Know your audience. The past is prologue. They want to know you can do the job. And the best way to show that is to show that you've basically done the job you're applying to, either explicitly in a past role or collectively across different accomplishment statements from your past roles. While your master resume of all your experience can be as long as it takes, the resume you ultimately submit to employers should be no more than 2 pages max. If you have more than 5 years of experience, then it's okay to go longer depending on the employer, but you'd be surprised how much can be put into 2 pages without cluttering up the space. Make sure the margins are consistent. Make sure you're using a simple, readable font. Use fonts that most anyone would have or be used to reading. Overall, your goal should be to keep it simple. You want the resume to be scannable in the proverbial 6 to 10 second window that recruiters are using to make their initial scan. I can say from my experience that this is true. Save your creative resume ideas for the right role. It's okay to have a heavily formatted resume, like with columns, colors, shading, etc. If you're trying to secure a role where you'll need to do graphics design, communications, advocacy, or something else where that kind of skill set is useful. If you have an objective statement at the top, just get rid of it. The first thing people should see after your name is your key skills. We'll talk about that next. So if you're using Microsoft Word or Google Docs, use the header and footer function. Do either first page header or different first page depending on the version of Word or Google Docs that you're using. This allows you to save a few lines in the body of your document, and on the second page of your document, you'll notice that the contact information isn't duplicated at the top of the page. Scroll down to the footer and then add the insert page number to the bottom right, and then write your name-resume to the footer. That way, if someone prints out your resume and doesn't do it double-sided, your second page won't be lost. Small things like this can make a difference. For your header, you just start with your name, email, and phone number. Your street address is generally not necessary, except if you're applying to positions near where you're living. US government resumes are usually more detailed and will require your full contact information. We can share USA Jobs guidance with students interested in working for the US government. Please use a professional email address, no hellokitty97@hotmail.com or anything like that. The same goes for your Skype and voicemail greeting, your Skype address. It can be confusing to employers if your email address reflects a professional identity different from what you're trying to convey. Also, please note that as Middlebury does not offer lifetime email addresses for students and alumni, we recommend using a personal permanent email address for most resumes, as eventually your MIS email address will be shut down, and you want to be reachable by employers. You can use social media links in your contact header. We recommend including your LinkedIn URL. Make sure you go to LinkedIn and use a personalized link. We can show you how to do this. You can also include your Twitter account if you keep it professional and what you post is aligned to the professional identity you're trying to convey. So now that we've gone over the basics of formatting your resume, it's your turn. Take a look at your resume and try some of the formatting tricks we've highlighted for you. The next exercise will be about the key skills and education sections.